Already started the live stream.
Yeah, Master, I started the live stream. Another 1 minute, Master, we can get started. I'm not able to hear you, sorry. Okay, you are.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. Namaskar, Nagaraj Master. Thank you for accepting this invite for this particular session. And handing over to you, Master. You can start off.
Okay. Namaste, Nitin Master. Namaste to all the participants. Thank you for joining today's session. Last week we talked about Living Untethered by Michael A. Singer. I got one feedback from a member saying that it was too fast and too much material. Yes, this book is very dense with material. Every sentence is so powerful. I am struggling to make it into 3 sessions. That's why it is. I went that fast last week. So there are different ways I'm thinking of presenting it now. Thinking of just going with what is the book is saying, and then conclude it next week. This week I will talk about. Briefly mention the last week thing. He says we are the awareness of self. He brings up the awareness of self. From there, he took us to conscious receiver, which is receiving inside, and he proves that we are inside somebody. Then he takes us how living inside will be. Then he talks about three-ring circus. Three rings are our outside world, which is influencing us, and our thoughts and emotions or feelings. These are the three things which are influencing or agitating or elating our us. So he says it's a three-ring circus. This life is a three-ring circus. Then he talks about exploring the nature of things, the path of acceptance, what passes before us. That is the goal he mentions about it. And then he talks about the outside world. So in the outside world, he brings up 5 points, which is the moment in front of you, world you live in, the origin of the matter, and the power of creation, and it's not personal. That's what he talks about it. So the first thing he starts with the moment in front of you. So all our life, the moments are coming into our life, and that moment we accept it or reject it, or we try to cling to it. I need to share it. Sorry. Yeah, the first one is awareness of self. This one I mentioned last week. this week is our outside world, which is the moment in front of you, the world you live in, the inside, and the origin of the matter, power of creation, and it's not personal. That's what he talks this week. We will go to the third one also, where the mind, where he talks about empty mind and birth of the personal mind, fall from the garden and veil of the psyche and brilliant human mind. So he's covering the outside world. He covered outside world, which is one leg of the three rings, one ring of the circus. The next one is the mind. The third one is thoughts and dreams. I think mind and thoughts and dreams are same. Then he talks about heart. In the heart, he talks about emotions and how heart opens or closes and dance of the energy flow and how the moods and emotions comes and secrets of the heart. He talks about it. Then he talks about human predicament, where he talks about what is the predicament means, like we always have a slow and steady wins the race, and the other one is uh, Alasyam Amrutam Visham. If you delay it, it becomes a poison. There are two things which are always there. The same way in our life also, we do get two different things in our life, and how to change that in the life and working from the heart. He always says, work from the heart and don't suppress or express it. Be an observer. That's where he talks. And here he says, let go, always let go, and how to let go, and to free yourself, and what in the low hanging fruit he tells easiest things which we can do every day, which I will cover next week, and the past and the meditation, how meditation helps. We are part of this my meditation magic, or pyramid meditation. So how meditation helps, and then he guides us how to handle the bigger stuff which is agitating us. Then he mentions about living life of acceptance, dealing the blocked energies, transmutation of the energy, the power of intent, exploring higher states, and in the world but not of it. These are the things he is going to cover. So today, the moment in front of you is basically, he talks about we always have a moment in front of us. The moment in front of you right now has absolutely nothing to do with you, which is true, because let's say it's raining, that is the moment in front of us. Some people think, oh, it's raining, it spoiled my day. And some people think, oh, it's raining, I don't need to water my lawn. It's the same moment. It's different people, different perspectives, and how they're approaching that moment. On top of it, he says, if I look in the front, I see one moment. Yeah, on the same thing, on the left side, there is another moment. And on the right, there is another moment. But how I'm handling the moment makes it difference in my life. So he says that there is nothing personal about what's happening there. It's I making that different to myself. All moments are in the universe are simply moments in the universe, and I am the one who is bringing personal preferences to that moment, because I want to water the lawn. That's why I feel elated when it is raining, and somebody wants to go and play outside because he is bringing his personal preferences to the moment. That's why he doesn't like the rain. If somebody asks you about Mars lost one of the ring, does it bother me or bother you? No, because it's somewhere else. The same way, in the next road, there is a pit which is blocking the car. You may not bother about it if you are not going that direction. So in the world, 99.99% is not related to us. There are so many things happening around us, only things which are I am perspective, which come into my own vision, I will get bothered. Otherwise, there are so many things happening. Like someplace earthquake happens, if you don't see the news, it is not bothering about you. You don't think about it unless that news comes into your perception. So 0.0001, 401% is the one which is influencing us, because other 99.9999% is not at all influencing, because it's happening somewhere and it's not in my own life or your life. So he says one of the most amazing things you will ever realize is that the moment in front of you is not bothering you. You are bothering yourself about the moment in front of you. So that's what he reiterates that. And then he talks about same thing what I mentioned is one person can simply enjoy the experience, the other struggle to make the experience match their personal preferences. That is what he talks. Then he goes into world you live in. So as he proved before, we are inside our mind. And then he talks about how that mind is, we are making that mind. So where did all that come from, and where did what made it? What is inside here? That's what he's questioning it, and he says there is before we found out that light can be divided into VIBGR, or in America they call Roy GPU, because in India they call VIBGR, but here they call it in a reverse direction. So those things, once they discovered, only we are seeing that, oh, okay, they are aware, they are there. Otherwise, we don't know that all 7 colors are inside the white light. In the same way, inside there is, if there are too many obstacles, too many preferences, we will have a tough life to accept the life. All that is happening in our daily life is our consciousness is looking at electrons, neutrons, and protons that are pulled together to form atoms and molecules. Then the world you live in, let's take time to explore how it all came from, the world. So he talks about he talks about origin of the matter, where this whole world is formed from the Big Bang. That's most of the people are accept that, whether it is from home or Big Bang. It created 13.8 billion years ago from the Big Bang. From the Big Bang, all the stars came up and this quantum field came, and all these details he covers, and how the stars collapsed, forming the different elements in which we use. He talks about how they are periodic table from 1 to 26, like hydrogen was the first one, then it met with different atoms and water formed like that, and then every time star collapsed, fusion energy created the next elements, and all these elements are floating in the universe, or this whole universe. And from there, everything started forming earth. And from the earth, we started extracting metals and iron, steel, all these things. We are making it. So he asks a question, regardless, some people ask, he says, don't these scientific facts challenge my belief that God is the creator of the universe? An appropriate response would be, of course not. They merely show you how God created all the structures in the universe. So it shows how God created these structures, God or universal energy, whatever name you give, that created all these structures. Then he goes to power of creation, where he talks about amount of energy released every collapsing star, the core down. That is supernova, is how supernova came, and from there how metals came. So he talks all those details. And then he talks, it is not personal. Nothing is personal. We just explore the world around you comes from, like he explores all the how this world is formed, how metals formed, all these details. And now he talks about why it is nothing is personal. Because you are not made of atoms. You are the consciousness that is aware of the objects that are made of atoms. Because this body is made of atoms, and we already know that this body is made of 5 elements: water, fire, earth, and sky, space, like that. Then he talks, he says, okay, let's see how this moment came into our life. For that, he tells a story because he's an American, he tells an American story. He says that way back, like thousands of years back, if great grandmother and great grandfather didn't meet, the person will not be here. That's what he says. So in the story, it begins when the dinosaurs were there. And the dinosaur, there was a fierce storm. In the south central Florida, the dinosaur was going around, and one place it's put its big foot down, and where the footprint formed, and water collected. And because of water is there, some native Indians or whoever it is came and settled there. And then some white men who conquered this land, America, they came and they were drunk. And in the rain, one woman and a man, great grandfather and great grandmother, fell down there, and they met with each other and they started family. That's how the generation started. And then the person is here. The same way we can take it from Indian perspective also. If that day those two didn't meet, this person will not be here, or I won't be here. So he says, the moment in front of in front of me is took 13.8 billion years before all these things are happening step by step, and coming here. In the first chapter also, we talked about this whole universe is there. Out of that, this galaxy is there, then the sun is there, and the earth is there. On the earth, there is America is there. In America, there is a Texas State, Dallas, Irving, like that. We are coming here, and I am on a small dot on the universe. So this whole universe is formed, took 13.8 billion years to come there. Now, whatever is in front of me is nothing to do with me. That's what he always talks about it. He says, you don't surrender the outside world, but you totally accept it. So whatever is outside world, accept it. You surrender to the personal made up judgment of it. So I surrender my own judgment. I don't ask some world to change. I surrender my judgment and accept the world. That's what he says. The truth is, every single thing is that way. There is, you can ask, what is it got to do with? When somebody asks about Saturn losing one of the ring or something, you will say, what's it got to do with me? That's a crazy question. The truth is, every single thing is that way. The total acceptance of the truth is surrender. The total acceptance of the truth. Surrendering, the letting go of the part of you that is not living the truth, that is surrender. So the moment in front of you is a gift of creation. Creation gave that moment in front of us. As long as your consciousness may be aware of the moment in front of you, but you did not create that moment. You are simply being given this wonderful opportunity to experience a moment in creation. It took billions of years to get here. Be sure you don't miss it. For that, let's say you are went to watch a sunrise or something, and you will be eagerly waiting for that sunrise to come. However, there is some phone call or some text came, and you are looking down at the message and sun rises, you'll say, oh, I missed the moment. Those are the moments. Like every moment is given to you as a gift, and how we utilize it. That's what is the thing. And people also talk about such a big deal out of science versus God. They always talk about, oh, this whole thing is science, and some people say the whole thing is created by God. He says, why are you having a problem with either way? If it is whole thing is science, the whole thing is atoms and molecules. We all know that. So if other atoms and molecules, this table or this laptop, everything is atoms and molecules, why am I worried about that? That's what he says. If God created everything, then why am I fighting with the moment? So if you really believe in God was the creator of all things, you will live in awe and appreciation of the marvel of the divine creation or divine creation by the scientists. Either way, you will be wondering, wow, such a beautiful thing happening right in front of us. So he talks about DNA of the molecule, how the DNA came into picture. He says DNA structured by four fundamental forces, which is gravity, electromagnetism, and strong and weak nuclear forces, which is a part of atom molecule, all that stuff. Human intelligence had nothing to do with the creation of the DNA. We didn't create the DNA. We don't know how it got created. We live in a world that is so perfect, it should constantly blow our minds. But we are so lost in making it all personal that we miss both the greatness of science and the greatness of God. That's what he mentions. And we all know that we are inside here. What is nature of experiences you are having? If you know that you are inside your mind, what are the experiences you are having? Outside world in which you live brings in different stimulus to you. The moment is in front of you is special. You might want to practice appreciating it and notice the effect that has on your life. So with this, he takes us to the next chapter, which is mind and its thoughts. So the mind is creating the thoughts, and the thoughts, mind and thoughts are influencing us. And then they lead us to heart and emotions. For that, he says, we need to practice accept and surrender. You're always conscious of what is really going on around you and inside you. Isn't it true? We always know what's happening around me as well as inside me. But nobody knows what is happening in my mind because it's only in my own personal space. However, I know what's happening around and what's happening in my mind. This is where he brings up mindfulness is a natural, effortless process once you let go of personal distractions. All the distraction. That's what we try in meditation. We say, oh, I don't need to get the thoughts. Thoughts are coming because of all the things which are stirring in your yourself, your heart and mind. They're stirring. Instead of thinking that the moment in front of you has to be a certain way, you start thinking that it is pretty awesome the way it is. In fact, it is amazing that even it exists. That's why even people meditation people says, don't fight with the thoughts. If thought comes, go back to breath. So, or oh, another thought came. Oh, another thought came, and come back to breath. So be joyful, be accepted what's happening instead of fighting with the thoughts. That's what in the meditation also says. And on top of it, he says, every moment, start saying thank you for that beautiful moment came to you as a gift to you. Everything is created for you. And can you thank them from the universe? And he says, I don't even know where I came from, or you don't even know where you came from. You are just in there experiencing this amazing gift unfolding before you, which is I am seeing the moment unfolding in front of me, beautiful moments. This is the spirituality coming into harmony with the reality instead of your personal self, coming in harmony with the reality, what's happening instead of my own personal self. So he enters into the mind where it's a conscious being. You are aware of the world is coming in through your senses, but your awareness is not limited to the outside world. In this, I will stop looking at the book and start telling about what he talks about the mind. He says mind is composed of all the five senses. We are grabbing, we are getting that and then stimulating it inside our mind. I am not seeing what is in front of me. I am seeing basically the what is projected in my mind through my senses. For example, he takes the TV example where something in Florida happening that vibrations are captured and transmitted through the sky, and the TV in our house takes those signals and shows them on the TV screen. The same thing happening through our eyes and ears and everything, it goes in. We even have ability to process the depth. On top of it, whatever is happening in the house, everything goes in our mind. And the person, as we mentioned, he's sitting inside or standing, whatever he's doing inside, and watching his own personal TV, which is three-dimensional, four-dimensional, or five-dimensional, we don't know. He has much more beautiful picture than us of all the senses feeding it. So the but he says, when we came into this world, we came with empty mind. Just like a computer, when it comes without programs on it, like either a Mac or a Word, which is operating system. Without operating system, computer is useless. You cannot say useless. It has the power, but you don't have a way to access it. The same way, the human mind comes up with empty mind, and we start building experiences on top of it. The outside world exists independent of this field of mind. So all these, we start making objects in our own mind. This body is a gift that the stars gave you and evolution perfected. You are given a physical body to house the five senses that pick up sight, sound, smell, taste, and touch. Rendering the outside world is the most basic function of the mind. So that's the TV example he gives. And then he talks about, you are not outside there in the world, you are inside. And we sometimes, when we see a beautiful picture or when we hear a beautiful sound, it will say, oh, that blew my mind. Blew my mind means that is the time you are not thinking your personal preferences. You are just moved with that moment. You are engrossed in that moment. That's where he says entire consciousness is centered and focused on the experiences you are having. So all those experiences, Patanjali Yoga Sutras also says that experiencer and experience becomes one. When you say, when it is blew my mind, that event and the one you are observing, subject and object became one. That's when you say, it blew my mind. I was completely lost in that moment. That's what it happens. That's also called as dharana. When consciousness merges with the object of consciousness, you can feel the presence of God. Let me read it again. When consciousness merges with the object of consciousness, you can feel the presence of God. That is what he calls Sat Chit Ananda. From here, birth of personal mind starts. So the mind is very powerful, just like a computer without software. Now the personal mind comes. How does personal mind comes? This world comes in and it's beautiful. So I make one impression that, oh, beautiful butterfly landed on my hand. It was so beautiful. So I create a positive impression. The same way, when I see a rattlesnake, I get scared and I make another impression on my mind. So rattlesnake, I push it away. Rattlesnake experience, I don't want it. But butterfly experience, I want it. So this is where the clash comes. I don't want, I want it. That's how this thing starts. And there is no way you are going to let this uncomfortable experience all the way in. And that's where the birth of resistance starts. We start resisting something and want something. When you are thinking of butterfly, if something passes, you don't process that information completely, because you are still trying to long for that thing. Butterfly, oh, how beautiful it is. You are trying to make that picture again. So this picture is blurred away. For that, he gives a plasma experience. Plasma TV, most of you might have known plasma TV. If you leave plasma TV paused on for a long time, or if you listen to newscaster, you will see the chill out of whatever was there before after you turn it off also. The same way the mind starts making observations, and those are called samskaras. He says, how come ancient Upanishads already said this about the samskaras, and he also questions how much before Sigmund Freud itself, how the rishis were telling these things. He says they are meditators. That's why they were able to tell about samskaras, how the samskaras form in our mind and how they block our acceptance or uh, pushing back, resistance. So that's how he talks about it. And then he talks about the memory, how memory, long-term memory, even in the computer, it keeps storing. And you take a reference, like I want this person's number, the phone bring it up and gives it to you. The same way in our mind, something happens, it immediately pulls that image or that information out, and we start evaluating what's happening. Easier example I tell is if you go to a class fresh, it's okay. But if somebody tells you that, oh man, that lecturer eats your mind, he doesn't tell you, or people will sleep, all these are, they're putting the engrams into your mind. If you go in, you will look from that angle only, even though the teacher might be doing wonderful. Sometimes we break through that programming and says, oh no, the teacher is very good. Why are you telling that? Very rarely. So these are the things which are engrams are happening, and impression stays in your inside mind and become foundation blocks upon which you built your cycle. So like that, he takes it, and he talks about brilliant human mind also, how powerful it is if we can use it better way. And he talks about three layers, as I mentioned, here and now layer, right now what's happening, and then samskara layer and personal thought layer. These three form the mind. These three are the creating the personal mind. Personal thought layer means right now I'm thinking, as soon as I see, I think about it. And then my samskaras bring in. Those three merge and make my life. We are constantly at war with what is happening and what I don't want. Like I push it away. I like seeing rattlesnake inside the zoo or someplace which is confined, but not outside. So it's always different things. That's what he talks. With that, I will end for today. And next week, I'll try to conclude this book either way. Okay. Thank you very much. Any questions?
Thank you, Nagaraj Master. So, Masters, if any questions for Nagaraj Master, please go ahead and ask, or you can type in the chat too.
Hi, it was wonderful hearing the gist of the book. I felt like, yeah, the way you were explaining about perspectives, how it is so different. I mean, the other day I was having a chat with my kid. He was sick and he was vomiting. So for me, that I mean, he just told. Whenever he used to do that, I used to get angry and I used to yell at him. Then suddenly, after a day or two, when he was fine, he just asked me, "Mommy, is it the fault of the person who is doing vomiting?" So that changed my perspective completely. So I was thinking from my perspective that
Yes.
that is going to give me a lot of work, clean it up and all. But from his perspective, it is like, it's not my fault. I didn't want to do it. It's just that because I'm sick and it's happening to me.
Yes.
It
Yeah.
was completely eye opener.
Good, very good point. Basically, we think from our perspective, our engrams, which we put it like one of my relatives was telling that, oh, I go to shop, I don't have any time, I come home, 2 hours it takes to eat, and then I need to sleep for half an hour. It is wasted, 2 hours wasted. I said, why is it wasted? You are talking about wasted. It's only for your own food, your own rest. You're saying wasted. Then he said, oh, I never realized that. I'm saying that it's my own body. So these are the perceptions which we don't observe unless somebody points to you. Your son pointed out to you, then only you realize that, oh yeah, true. Until then you were thinking you were right. because we always think we are right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.